We received a gift, as many other churches did, from Ripe TV. And Ripe TV sent us a video that we want to show you in a moment. But first I want to read the script so that when you see the images and hear the words again, hopefully they've already begun to sink in. A week before his resurrection and just days before his crucifixion, Jesus entered the holy city of Jerusalem. He did not enter that city like a king. There was no chariot. There was no mighty horse. He entered the city on a donkey. Outside the city, the crowds gathered around to see their king, and they laid their palm branches on the dusty road, and they shouted, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest heaven." Hosanna simply means God save us. And that simple prayer echoes across time. 2,000 years ago, the Jerusalem crowds shouted Hosanna to their king on that dusty road. And 2,000 years later, wherever we are, we shout Hosanna even still. Hosanna in the highest heaven. Hosanna in the lowest moments. Hosanna in the green pastures. Hosanna in the darkest valleys. Hosanna in the crowded cities. Hosanna in the open spaces. Hosanna in every church. Hosanna in every home. Hosanna in the victories. Hosanna in the failures. Hosanna in the beautiful beginnings. Hosanna in the bitter endings. Hosanna in the days of trial, Hosanna in the days of plenty, Hosanna in the days of sadness, Hosanna in the days of celebration, Hosanna in the morning, Hosanna in the evening, Hosanna in the sunshine and darkness, Hosanna in the years of waiting, Hosanna in the seasons of blessing. Hosanna all the time, Hosanna everywhere, Hosanna forever, Hosanna in the Son, Hosanna in the highest.
A week before his resurrection, and just days before his crucifixion, Jesus entered the holy city of Jerusalem. He did not enter that city like a king. There was no chariot, there was no mighty horse. He entered that city on a donkey. Outside the city, the crowds gathered around to see their king, and they laid their palm branches on the dusty road, and they shouted, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest heaven!" Hosanna simply means God save us, and that simple prayer echoes across time. 2,000 years ago, the Jerusalem crowds shouted Hosanna to their king on that dusty road. And 2,000 years later, wherever we are, we shout Hosanna, even still. Hosanna in the highest heaven. Hosanna in the lowest moments. Hosanna in the green pastures. Hosanna in the darkest valleys. Hosanna in the crowded cities. Hosanna in the open spaces. Hosanna in every church. Hosanna in every home. Hosanna in the victories. Hosanna in the failures. Hosanna in the beautiful beginnings, and Hosanna in the bitter endings. Hosanna in the days of trial. Hosanna in the days of plenty. Hosanna in the days of sadness. Hosanna in the days of celebration. Hosanna in the morning and Hosanna in the evening. Hosanna in the sunshine and darkness. Hosanna in the years of waiting. Hosanna in the seasons of blessing. Hosanna all the time. Hosanna everywhere. Hosanna forever. Hosanna to the Son. Hosanna in the highest.
So on that first Palm Sunday, the people were gathered there and excited that Jesus was coming because they knew that he fed people, because they knew that he welcomed people, because they knew that he healed people and he carried them when they were unable to move by themselves. They were there excited because some of the people already knew him. They had been touched by him, or they touched him and found healing or found hope. They understood God in a different way because of the things Jesus said, the stories that he told, the ways that he enacted love and brought justice in the world, the way that he turned things upside down, the ways that he honored people, the ways that he looked at them in the eyes, the ways that he listened to the past, the ways that he cherished the gifts of faith that he had been given, and the ways that he looked at them new from all different angles and directions. And then there were some other people there who surely had not met him, who had not heard about him, but they were curious because of the chaos and the excitement and the joy and the shouting that was happening because of the people that did know him or had an inkling or who were embraced by a story or who had hope and who were longing for something different. And so somehow the people were swept up with this Jesus, with the things he was saying, with the things he was dreaming, with the ways that he was echoing a loving, gentle, generous, faithful God. But Jesus also came in a way that disarmed people because some of them wanted things to change like that. They wanted him to quickly turn everything around, but things take time, and we have to be patient, and we have to work with the gifts that we have been given and take what we know to be true and be courageous and brave and move forward. He came into the city on the donkey, we mentioned, humble, not on a mighty horse. But there was another parade coming into the city that was very different because it was about to be Passover. And the Roman occupiers didn't like Passover because it's a story about freedom and deliverance. It's about oppression ending. It's about breaking chains. Our Jesus window has Jesus with his left foot standing on chains to break them. Not to honor them, but to break them. And so he remembered his people's stories, our story, Passover, freedom from oppression, deliverance out of slavery. And so the people who were occupying that city, that wanted the people to be quiet, didn't want them to remember that freedom can come, didn't want them to remember the story of their people and the power that was deep within them. The occupiers wanted them to be silent and to be submissive, and to allow them to keep their power, allow them to misuse their power, allow them to misuse the people. They didn't want to feed people. They didn't want to welcome people. They didn't want to help people who were hurt. Instead, they wanted it all for themselves. And so this other parade came in another side of the city gates with large horses, a big show of force and power, a military parade. And so it was amazing the differences between Jesus and the people who believed in him and the people who wondered about him, and then the people who were locked into the things of the system, staying the same as it always had been, power over, not power with. And so we imagine Jesus coming into that city and saying no to the misuses of power and saying no to hypocrisy. He very quickly noticed when people were not living the ways that they said that they lived. He really could sniff out hypocrisy in a moment, and he wouldn't stand for it. And he held up a mirror to the people to remind them that we have choices all the time, and we have to decide how we will align ourselves with God or not. And he said no to the economic injustices that were happening. He said no to violence and to these constant shows of power and control. He would say no to fear. He remembers the story of his birth when the angels kept coming to his parents and to the shepherds saying, "Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid." And so we remember on this day the excitement and the joy and the courage that was growing in the people and the love that was spilling out of them because they were saying yes to something new, saying yes to something different. And they couldn't just stand there and say yes. They had to grab palm branches. Some stories in the Gospels say that they took off their cloaks and laid them on the ground so that Jesus would have a softer entrance, so that he would really be welcome and really know that they were eager for him, that they were going to align themselves with him, that they were going to say yes to the things that he said yes to, that they were going to see that he could save them from things and save them for things, not just being negative and critical, but having a dream and a vision and setting each other free for a future that would be bright and a future that would include all the people, a future that would feed people and welcome people and heal people and give them some hope. And so we are taking to the streets. We are speaking our voice publicly. We are in quiet conversations. We are in louder conversations. Our sign is back after a lot of repair that says love is louder, because love needs to be louder, because the other voices are piercing. The other voices are devastating. The other voices are destroying, and we want to build up, and we want to feel the joy. And we want to put the power in the right places, and we want to put our energy where the Spirit invites us to put our energy. And so you heard us a little bit earlier say that we are going to celebrate Trans Day of Visibility. We did it very differently last year with some testimonies from families amongst us talking about their trans family members and trans joy and how challenging and how delightful it is to be in a family that is available to each other, welcoming each other, feeding each other, healing each other, bringing hope together. And we recognize that our trans siblings are under constant duress, challenges from people in power who are trying to get rid of them, silence them, push them out. We say no. We say no, because we welcome and we feed and we heal and we lean on each other and we encourage each other and we do everything we can to be more Christ-like in simple ways and in grand ways. And so as we go further into this Palm Sunday, as we go further into this call and invitation to be people of Jesus' way and words, we invite you to think about the things that you are being saved from, the things you are being saved for, why this is a great day, why this calls for our attention, why it is that we say yes to Jesus and no to certain other things. Let your yes be yes, let your no be no. Let us continue to be together as we sing, "Be still and know that I am God."